BBC Television presents...
Hancock.
So, Mr. FOWL called the mayor of his Chimawally, did he? So he's broken the new Brexit bylaw on not insulting council officials. Right, send the little toe rag along. We'll put him on the straight and narrow, all right.
So what's all that about a Mr. FOWL, Sid?
He's been insulting council officials.
So what? I always do. I called Councillor Dorothy smug and oversexed mule-faced pig the other day. What's wrong with that?
It's against the law, Hancock. That's what's wrong.
Since when?
Last Tuesday, as it happens. Exactly when did you insult Councillor Smug?
On Tuesday, I think, Sid.
What time last Tuesday?
I can tell you exactly, Sid. About 1 p.m. after she started doing a celebratory jig whilst flipping me the finger outside the East Gym Arms when she beat me at darts.
1 o'clock, you say? That's when the new law came into force. You could be in trouble as well.
Well, that explains the letter from the council I got this morning. I thought it was a joke. She set me up, didn't she? Well, the oversexed mule-faced pig.
Good morning. The police said I had to report to you. I've upset the mayor, apparently. I didn't know he was the mayor of his team. It's not as if he's got a big sign around his neck saying I'm the mayor, is it?
As a matter of fact, he has got a massive sign round his neck saying mayor. It's a big gold chain. Didn't you notice it?
Oh, is that what it was? I thought it was his bling. An elderly medallion man. There's no count for taste, is there?
I'm afraid, Mr. FOWL, you're not allowed to insult council officials anymore. It's against the new Brexit bylaw.
Brexit bylaw? Is that all? Well, a Brexit bye-bye from me, then. I'm off.
You can't go insulting Brexit. That's another one of the Brexit bylaws. It's an hate crime. Dominic Cummings is very sensitive about that. He takes it all very seriously.
Now, was me thinking I woke up in a free country. Is there anything you can do nowadays without breaking some flaming law?
Now, let me have a look. Nah, there isn't anything. They've got it all covered.
Please let me off. I only called the mayor a Wally after all, and he is a Wally.
I'm sorry, Mr. FOWL, you just doubled your fine. That's insulting him twice in front of witnesses.
Okay, I'll take that one back. How much do I owe you now?
It's 360 nicker an insult, Mr. FOWL. You can't go around using foul language, you know.
But I have to use foul language. My name's Fowl, isn't it? So I don't have a choice. It's my heritage.
Hang on a minute, I'd better discuss this with the inspector. What do you think, Hancock?
Well, he's got a point, Sid. After all, if he can't use foul language, who can?
We better take this one to court and get a ruling on it. We don't want to get on the wrong side of the law like last week.
You two again? Starsky and Hutch, isn't it? The policeman's privates. Private policeman. Beg your pardon, Your Honour, it's James and Hancock. Starsky and Hutch were American. You know, David Soul. I used to watch them on TV. Very good they were. Oh, silly me, of course they were. Anyway, what is it now? This is the second time in 2 weeks. That's 2 times too many.
This gentleman here, Mr. FOWL, called the mayor of East Chimawally, Your Honour. And as you know, it's against the law.
I know it is. I do keep up with the law, you know. It's my job. Oh, come on, it's nearly lunchtime. What of it? Quickly. Apologies for taking up all your valuable time, Your Honour, but it's a bit more complicated than that because the defendant's name is FOWL, and he's claiming he's been using foul language. And he says any language he uses is foul language. Well, it's logical, isn't it? He's called foul, and the language coming out of his mouth has to be foul as well, doesn't it? Makes sense. Just as the language that comes out of my mouth is Hancock. Poppycock, more like. So we wanted a legal ruling, and where better to come than your good self? All right, Mr. Poppycock. Logical? Of course it's not, you simple-minded fool. His name is FOWL with a W, and not a U, as in foul language. Oh, that's how you spell it. Does it make a difference? Of course it doesn't. It does. Oh, do shut up. Now, Mr. Fowl, look here, my man, stop playing the giddy goats by trying to twist these two half-wits around your little finger. Just because you're called foul doesn't mean you're using foul language every time you open your mouth. Any more than because I'm called Judge See-Through, it means I'm not wearing any clothes.
Oh no, I'm not trying to cause any trouble. Is that throughout the whole of my life, people have told me to stop using foul language. And I used to think that they meant me. And I used to say, what other bloody language am I supposed to be using? By the way, did you just call me a giddy goat?
Well, I seem to recall I did. What of it?
Oh, it's not important. It's just that I was made a councillor for East Cheam in the elections last week, and you've just insulted me. And that's against the Brexit bylaw on not insulting council officials. Normally it would be water for ducks back, but given the circumstances, what's sauce for the goose is sauce for the gander, Your Honour.
Bah humbug! Take your waterfowl and clear off the lot of you. Well, I think that's 360 quid each, if you don't mind, Your Honour. Ta very much. The next case is an important one, Sid. We've got the MP for North Surrey and Cheam and Mrs. Brusty. She claims she's the victim of a set-up. It's sort of cloak and dagger stuff. Spies may be involved.
Bit spies, it might involve an honey trap, Hancock. You know, half a dozen beautiful blondes draped all around the place. And if we play our cards right...
Mrs. Brusty is an honourable woman, so there'll be none of that. No, there's going to be no honey involved, Sid. More likely shampoo. Mrs. Brusty was having her hair done at the hairdresser's, but she wasn't wearing a mask, and the salon filmed her on CCTV and it got in the papers.
So that's a £3,200 fine for not wearing a mask. It's simple.
Quite, Sid. There's a twist in the tale. Mrs. Brusty says she was given a packet of Pringles to eat by the owner, a Mr. Curly Whirly, and couldn't wear a mask while she was eating them. Here they come now.
Good afternoon, Inspector Hancock. I'm Mrs. Brusty, and you know what I've come about, don't you? Well, I don't know what you've come about. Won't anybody let me in the secret? I'm sitting at home practising my curling tongs, and suddenly two men in black whisked me away to interrogate me. Well, I've told you several times, Mr. Curly Whirly. You set me up by giving me Pringles to eat, so I couldn't wear a mask, and then filmed me while I wasn't wearing it. You know I'm a firm believer in the mask, and you've unmasked me. I just thought you'd like some crisps. There's nothing wrong in that. I didn't know you were going to sit there stuffing your face for 30 minutes. You didn't stop to breathe. It was like a conveyor. It was one after another. You were supposed to share them with the other customers. Well, it's a pity you didn't say all that at the time. Mr. Curly Whirly, I am a lady, and as such I eat in a ladylike manner. How dare you? What else was I supposed to do with them? Fleck them across the floor of the salon at the other customers? Say, "Here, mate, want a Pringle?" Well, that's what I usually do. And you, Mr. Curly Whirly, are neither a lady or a gentleman. Oh, I'm transgender. You never complain when I'm massaging your scalp. Deeper, deeper, you yell.
Ladies and gentlemen, a little decorum if you please. No fighting. Now, what evidence do you have that Mr. Curly Whirly set you up?
He filmed me without my mask and sold it to the Daily Star of all people. Inspector Hancock, I always film the salon in case people steal things, like styling chairs, air dryers, or my world-famous range of setting lotions and colouring agents. What absolute nonsense! Could you see me as an MP walking out of your salon with a chair up my jumper? I don't know. I thought I saw you walk out with some of my curlers once. I had to walk out of your salon once with some curlers still in because you refused to take them out. You said you'd broken a nail. Oh, that's right. I remember now. Silly me.
Right, we understand now, Mr. Curly Whirly, that you always film your salon, but you don't always sell the film to the Daily Star, do you?
I only sent it to the Daily Star because I saw a ghostly shadow in the corner of the salon.
Well, really, what nonsense? What sort of ghost?
You know, a dead one.
Yes, probably one of your customers who died waiting for you to get round to doing her flaming hair. Inspector Hancock, kindly deal with this man.
Oh, don't be rotten. I'd never seen the poor woman before. Anyway, I thought the Daily Star might want to put it in their paper. They put all sorts of interesting stuff in there. It's jolly good.
Now I've been in there, framed as a cheat and a liar.
It wasn't me, it was the Daily Star. It's because they saw you in the salon without a mask and they thought it would make a better story. I didn't suggest it or nothing.
Let's cut to the chase, Mr. Curly Whirly. We at Hancock Heroes think you are an anarchist working for the Russians.
The Antichrist? I only sold a film. I didn't try and murder the Pope or nothing.
Not the Antichrist, an anarchist. Someone who attacks government in an effort to try and bring the country to its knees with the aim of eventually destroying it in an effort to take over. Take Piers Morgan, for example.
Well, now you come to mention it, I do have some Russian customers. They're very nice people, you know, good tippers, and they're very chatty. I like to have a game of chess with them when they're getting a wash and blow.
A good chat about what exactly?
About this and that, the weather, climate change, Brexit, the effects of nerve agents on the nervous system. Only joking.
Did you tell these Russians about Mrs. Brusty, Mr. Curly Whirly?
Now, this is more like it, Sergeant James. I think you've got him. He's starting to squirm.
No, it's all right. I just sat on me scissors. I'm not ready for the snip, you know. Now, let me think. I didn't take much notice of it at the time, but this Russian lady asked me, did I have any members of Parliament as customers in the shop?
Oh, you silly fellow. They were trying to find out about me, of course.
Now you come to mention it, I suppose it could have been you, or it might have been a coincidence.
Mr. Curly Whirly, it's not a coincidence. How many flaming MPs do you have as customers? I suppose she gave you a packet of Pringles as well.
That's right, she brought some in and asked if I'd like to hand them around as a sort of gesture of solidarity with the English working class.
Well, that's it then, Mrs. Brusty. Case closed. You've been set up by a Russian agent, and Mr. Curly Whirly here is an unwitting and simple-minded accomplice.
Hang on a minute there, do you mind? I've got a GCSE in Hair and Beauty.
But if you're not careful, Mr. Curly Whirly, you'll also get a GCSE in treason.
Treason? Now hang on a mo. It's only an hairdresser's, not GCH flaming Q.
Trouble is, Mr. Curly Whirly is a bit like GCHQ. You sort of pick up things as an hairdresser from customers. You're like a human bug.
Who are you calling a human bug? How dare you? I've heard a few things about you, Mr. James. I can tell you.
Well, in that case, you can give us the 2,000 nickel the Daily Star gave you and we'll call it quits, shall we?
Hang on a minute, Sid. What has he heard?
It's nothing, honest.
Oh, all right, Curly Whirly, we'll let you off the treason charge. I don't fancy sitting in front of Judge See-Through with him banging on about this and that for 10 weeks. Thank you very much. Well, that was a turn-up for the book. Sid and me foil a Russian plot and end up £2,000 to the good. That's the power of Hancock's Heroes for you. Look out, 007, here we come.